Do you want to experience zero mortalities when you are brooding your chicks? Stay tuned so that you can be able to know how that is done. So you want to receive baby chicks on your farm, yet you don't know what you need to do before the chicks arrive. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know before the chicks arrive on your farm. Behind me, you can see that I have some chicks on my brooder, and I'm going to explain to you what you need to know. The first thing that you need to know is the construction of a brooder. What is a brooder? A brooder is a place whereby you rear your chicks so that they can be helped to grow up because they don't have a mother hen. So a brooder is constructed in this way. A brooder should be oval in shape. As you can see, this brooder of mine is oval in shape and it doesn't have any corners, meaning in case we have less heat in this brooder, you won't have chicks crumbling in one corner. And if chicks try and crumble in one corner, this can lead to mortalities on your farm. And that's why we usually construct a brooder in a circular form. So that is one thing that you really need to know. Don't put your chicks in a square room, because if you put your chicks in a square room, then the chicks feel some cold or they can be startled and they feel some stress. They will run to one corner, then that can lead to mortalities on your farm. That is one thing that you need to know when you want to brood your chicks. The second thing that you have to know is you have to use wood shavings on the floor. As you can see below, these are day-old chicks. We have zero mortality currently, and we are raising over 4,000 day-old chicks. And yet this is the first day and we haven't had any case of mortalities. Now let me show you. Here on the floor, you can see we have wood shavings, and after the wood shavings, we have this newspaper on top. You are asking why I have put wood shavings below, then I've put the newspaper on top. The first thing why I have put the newspaper on top of the wood shaving is to prevent the chicks from eating the wood shavings. You know, when the chick eat the wood shavings, that can lead to mortalities. And how does that happen? The wood shavings, when it gets to the crop of the chicken crop of the chick doesn't have any grit. That means it can't be able to grind that sawdust in the crop. So that will lead to mortality because the sawdust won't be able to be digested. That is why we have to put the newspaper cover. So after we have put the newspaper cover, it will help to prevent the chicks from eating the wood shavings. So that is one thing that you need to know. After you have made sure that your brooder is kept in a round shape and you have placed your wood shavings, then you have put the newspaper on top of the wood shavings, the next thing you have to do is you have to make sure that you have proper heat on your brooder. The proper heat on your brooder, the first thing that we are using here, there are various ways that you can use in heating your brooder. The first way you can use in heating your brooder, you can use the brooder bulb. The second way, you can use a gas heater on your brooder. The third way that you can use on your brooder is by the use of charcoal, and that is what we are using in our two brooders. This is one brooder that is holding 2,000 chicken, and also the other brooder over here that is holding 2,000 chicken. The lighting is not proper, but because of the chicks. So that is how it looks like. We have two brooders over here. Since the chick don't have their mother hen to take care of them and provide warmth for them, we will use the charcoal and this brooder pot. That is what we are using to heat our farm. We like this one because it is reliable. Unlike the electricity, because if you have kept a lot of chicken like this, then in case you have a major blackout, what will you do? For example, it is midnight. It is around 12 a.m. in the night. What will you do? Because if you are not keen, you'll end up losing your chicken. And you have slept. Then the blackout just occurs on your farm. That can lead to huge mortalities on your farm. So that is the reason as to why we are using these brooder pots in the heating of our brooder. That means that, as you can see, our chicks are well distributed. That means that the temperature in our brooder is optimum. There is no place that you can see the chicks are cramped together. You can see that is the better thing. So that is another thing that you need to know. You have to provide heat in your brooder. Even as you can see in my video, I am really sweating because it is really hot in here. After that, the next thing that you have to do, you have to put water in your brooder. Before the chicks arrive, make sure you have put water in your brooder. And how is that done? You have to take these drinkers, then you put water in it. And what is in that water that makes it have this yellow color in it? First of all, you have to put water, then you put glucose. The benefit of glucose is that it will provide energy for the weak chicks, that because they have traveled over a long time to your farm. That is one thing. Then the second one is the multivitamin. The multivitamin, as the name goes, it will give the appetite to your chicks. That is another thing. The third one is the chick formula. What is the benefit of the chick formula? The chick formula has something known as oxytetracycline. Oxytetracycline is some kind of antibiotic that will prevent your chicks from getting any cases of coccidiosis. And why are we giving antibiotics on the first day? This is a preventative measure. Yes, we are going to give that oxytetracycline because when the chicks travel, they usually poop in their box. After they have pooped in their box, then the chick usually try and eat their own poop in the box. So if you don't try to prevent that coccidiosis, because the chick would have already ingested their own poop, it can lead to fall typhoid or coccidiosis on your flock. So that is why we have to put the chick formula in the water. Okay? And another thing that we have to put in the water is known as liquid paraffin. The benefit of liquid paraffin is that liquid paraffin, after it has been kept in the water, this one is only given on the first day when the chicks arrive on your farm. The liquid paraffin will help in opening the gut of the chicken for digestion. So we are done with the brooder preparation. Everything is ready. The brooder is heated. We have water. Yet I've not talked about the feed. Yes, wait. We are not giving the feed to the chicks yet. What we have to do when the chicks arrive, first of all, you have to take every chick and dip its mouth in the water. That is only to introduce your chick to the water so that it can understand that that is water, and it can help to alleviate the thirst that the chick have incurred when they are on transit. That is the first thing that you have to know. Make sure you dip every chick's beak into the water to help it quench their thirst. That is the first thing. After that, you have to leave the chicks in the brooder for a whole 2 hours as they drink the water. After the chicken have drinking the water that has multivitamin, and it also had the chick stat that has the oxytetracycline, after 2 to 3 hours, then you have to give your chicks the feed. And how do you give the chicks the feed? You have to give your chicks the feed using trays like these bright colored trays. This is an important way. Why are you giving your chicks feed on trays? One thing, when the chicks are very young, they don't know what feed is. So we have to introduce the feed in trays. We don't use the feeders yet because the chicks don't know what food is. So after you have done that, you have kept your chicks in the brooder, then you have kept these feeders. As you can see it, you can see my chicks are really enjoying. So this is how it is done. If it is kept in this way, your chicks will know what feed is and they will start to eat the feed. And this will help them not try to eat their own poop. And this is just one thing that you really have to know when you're keeping chicks. We also have the other brooder. It is a bit dark on the other end. That's why I don't want to go there, because I'm using the light on the other side. So that is what you really need to know when you're keeping chicks on your farm. If you follow all those measures, you will be able to get a minimal mortality or zero mortality when raising your flock, because most of these cases can be avoided. Most people usually say that the mortality rate is between 2 to 4%, but I can tell you, you can get below 1% mortality rate if you follow what I've told you on your farm. And make sure during the night, for the first day, make sure you are giving your chicks 24 hours of light. Then on the second day, 23 hours, then 22 hours, then you go on like that, because the chicks also need to rest. Have you ever heard that this child is not growing? They usually say that a child should sleep so that they can be able to grow up properly. That is also another way that you can help your chick grow. Make sure you are giving your chick some time for them to sleep so that they can be able to grow up properly. So that is what you really need to do when you have chicks on your farm. If you just follow all these procedures that I've told you, you will be able to get zero mortality when you are raising your flock. And for the chick mash that you are giving to your chicks, make sure you are giving your chicks proper and high chick mash that has all the nutrients that is required by the chicks. Just don't go and buy cheap chick mash and expect your chicks to grow up properly, because these guys, they are trying to cut down cost. They are selling to you the cheap feed, but yet they haven't reached the optimum percentage of protein that is needed by the chick to grow up properly. So make sure you are giving your chick the proper chick mash. That is another thing that most people usually don't know. And there is a difference here. There's a difference between chick start and chick formula. Chick start doesn't have oxytetracycline, but chick formula has oxytetracycline, which I've told you the benefit of it, which can only be used as a preventative measure so that you don't get any cases of mortalities on your farm.